Intelligence suggests pro-Ukrainian group sabotaged pipelines, U.S. officials say.
Here's a summary of the article.
U.S. officials declined to disclose the nature of the intelligence, how it was obtained or any details of the strength of the evidence it contains. U.S. officials say they have not found any evidence of involvement by the Russian government in the attack. Officials who have reviewed the intelligence said they believed the saboteurs were most likely Ukrainian or Russian nationals, or some combination of the two. U.S. officials said no American or British nationals were involved. The pipelines were ripped apart by deep-sea explosions in September, in what U.S. officials described at the time as an act of sabotage. U.S. officials have not stated publicly that they believe the operation was sponsored by a state. Continue reading the main story. The explosives were most likely planted with the help of experienced divers who did not appear to be working for military or intelligence services, U.S. officials who have reviewed the new intelligence said.
This post received a score of 5,600, with an upvote ratio of 88%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Several German news agencies have done some research together independently of this matter and have written the following, translated into English. Source: Tagesschau.
Greater than the yacht was then returned to the owner in an uncleaned condition. According to research, investigators found traces of explosives on the table in the cabin. That seems rather negligent, or it suggests they deliberately left traces.
To me, that owner is in a lot of trouble until he points officials in the right directions. Interesting read. Honestly, to me a nation-state did this, and tried to blame Ukraine. If Ukraine did it, they might not mind making it obvious. If the West did it, they might also try to finger Ukraine to prevent further escalation. If Russia did it, they might finger Ukraine to further their own narratives about Ukrainian terrorism.
You are correct. It literally could be anyone.
I wish I had the video editing skills to include a "blowing up the pipeline" segment in the Agatha All Along song.
And I killed Sparky, too.
One of the interesting things to me is that only 3 of the 4 actual pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and 2 each consist of 2 pipelines, were blown up. Why not the 4th? Did the perpetrator want to leave some limited pipeline capacity, to perhaps limit outrage in Germany? Or did a possible 4th charge fail to detonate, leaving evidence?
There were 4 leaks, charges. But the one NS2 line had 2 holes, while the other had none. With NS1 both lines each had 1. A possible reason could just be incompetence and one charge was put on the wrong line.
I originally read that and thought that might be the case, but could not find the reference when I looked today.
5 people, nationality unknown, take great effort to forge passports, then deliberately rent an Ukrainian-owned yacht from Poland to do scandalous sabotage with explosives. Excuse me, but why on earth would these 5 people go through all the trouble to hide their nationality and then rent an Ukrainian-owned yacht for the job if they were indeed pro-Ukraine?
Greater than Ukrainian-owned yacht for the job. Maybe they just went for the most appropriate yacht at the cheapest price.
I'd like to imagine the bargain shopping this international team of professional saboteurs went through. They're skilled in specialized underwater operations, carrying hundreds of pounds of explosives. The world is poised on the brink of war and they're like, ooh, look, this one is only $2,500 and it has a full surround sound home theater.
Okay, but I have one big question. How the fuck could anyone who is not state-sponsored accomplish this feat of underwater sabotage, right under Sweden's and Denmark's noses? Furthermore, that state would have to have direct sea access to the Baltic Sea or be a close ally of such a state.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.